Transition Awareness Breathing. Feeling grounded for both children and parents is essential for healthy living and learning. Join Eartha Powell on this series for tips and tools for creating a harmonious environment for learning. Transition Awareness Breathing will help you and your child find an individualized path to tackle change, promote lifelong learning, and discover new approaches to calmness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Transition Awareness Breathing podcast. The last time we were together, I shared the 10th Annual World Happiness Report with you. That report indicated that out of 146 countries, the United States was ranked 16 as being one of the happiest places in the world. It ranked 16th this year, which was a 3-point increase from the previous years. So last year, the United States ranked 19th on the World Happiness Report. So according to this World Happiness Report, it appears, as I review what we discussed a little bit last time, it appears that the Nordic countries tend to have the top ranking as far as demonstrating a happy place to live. They have structures in their organizational systems, and it tends to show that people had high levels of trust both in their work life and in the overall government institutional trust. And that was one of the factors that was brought out in the report that contributed to the higher ranking in the World Happiness Report compared to all the other countries. But last time I mentioned that, the increase from 19th to 16th for the United States is heading in the right direction. Let's not be satisfied, because the United States is not even in the top 10. So there's room for improvement. And as a mindfulness program, is Transition Awareness Breathing is a mindfulness program. If we look at ourselves as contributing members in our own world, that we can contribute to improving the happiness score in our part of the world, I propose that it will make a huge impact in the overall score. Now, I know that sounds kind of broad and it's probably unrealistic. Okay, let's just get the negative words out. Because as a nursing professional, I think it's important to do an assessment and to benchmark. And whatever our goals are, and whatever our dreams are, it's nice to be able to have something to compare instead of a vague entity. So let's look at what the Nordic countries are doing to have such a high, not just a high score, but what are they doing that contributes to happiness in their environment? And, I'm sure there'll be some comments. Well, if you like that country, why don't you just move there? Every place is room for improvement. And as I reviewed the report, and I think this is very important, even in those countries, they are trying to improve. So it's a process. It is a system that we can certainly develop within our own country to better ourselves. And so today, I would like to share with you a few of the elements that, according to the research, contributes to a quality of life that has influence to a perception of happiness. And it's more than a perception of happiness. It's, according to this report, people are truly happy, and we'll talk about what the happy means. But before I go any farther, I would like to thank Web Talk Radio for allowing me to have a platform to bring Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast to you. And to Mary Lou and Sam, thank you for making Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast available to my listeners everywhere they go. Okay, so let's get started. I'll share all of my resources with you in the description, so please look at those descriptions if you don't mind and draw your conclusions. Okay, so when we talk about the quality of life, what does that mean to you? If someone says, so how is your quality of life? Where would you start? How would you describe it? That is, I think, is a very important place to start. In this report, may I share that the quality of life that this report was measuring was based on gross domestic product, social support, an individual's gauge of freedom, of how they felt as far as freedom to make life choices, and generosity. Those are some of the factors that was measured, along with personal trust and trust in their government, because a lot of basic life needs were met, such as child care, health care, making sure that there was an opportunity to contribute. Each member in society has an opportunity to contribute, so that as a result, there was very low poverty in those countries. They're not considered the richest countries, but the poverty levels are very, very low. And one factor which the article contributed to that was because a lot of the social needs were provided. I don't know if it's provided because people pay for it through their taxes. At any rate, the benefits of the high taxes contributed towards the care of people's basic needs: food, shelter, and safety. So that left people, and what I'm thinking about is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those basic structures is food, safety, shelter. All those things are provided for. Yet, many people in this interview indicated that, it left room to worry about other things. The report went into a little bit more detail how many of the people in those countries, they were able to incorporate a more balance. That was very important for them to maintain a balanced lifestyle, not necessarily a rich lifestyle, but a balanced lifestyle. And their focus is very much geared towards harmony and making a peaceful environment. So there's spas and paid vacation and the time to build relationships with loved ones, friends. And so these things are normalized in their society. How do we measure our success here in our country? How do you measure your success in your part of the country, in your household, and you personally? And, do we measure our success according to productivity, according to how much we contribute in the success of the gross national product in our country? And do we measure our success based on how much stock we own or how much money we have in our bank accounts, how many cars we have in the garage, how many multimedia centers that, we have in our homes? What is the measurement of success? And yet, the inner core of our peace, are we really, truly happy? And so the definition of happiness, when they talk about the happiness scale, is not necessarily and not being like laughing and jovial. It is being at a point where you feel your life is valued. In other words, it's is a measurement of the satisfaction of the way life is going for you, for me, right now. And so if we look at that and say, life is going okay for me right now. I may not be rich, or I may, desire to make a little bit more, but life is okay. And so that's what they're considering, and that's what they gauged as far as scoring on the happiness scale. And remember, so United States ranked 16th. So where can we improve? Are we meeting our goals, our expectations, our standards when we are evaluating or making an assessment of where we're at? Are we including in our thoughts and in our everyday actions room to improve? Or have we reached a point where, we have a perception that, I cannot improve. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too busy. I have too many of this. I have too many responsibilities. I've been in the job too long. Do we have too many twos that takes us away from our quality of life? May I suggest that this is a wonderful place to start with our self-assessment, to become aware of our self-talk about ourselves, our self-talk about the environment around us. May I propose that language contributes to our adaptation and the organization of our environment. May I repeat it again, that our language contributes to how we adapt, and it also contributes to how we organize our environment for our survival. If our language consists mostly of negative information, then that would contribute to negative adaptations processes and negative